Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, all of reviewers team, the PICs, and of course, all of the participants of the second international webinar series on educational revolution. Let me first to thank you, the steering committees for choosing an interesting and important theme in this occasion. In general, resilience refers to the ability to withstand, recover, and grow. Talking about resilience, reminding us to the principle of survival of the fittest. We can replace the word fittest here with resilient. Then we have a new principle, survival of the most resilient. But the problem is that at the same time, we are not fit and nor resilient. In terms of physical fitness, the data from Indonesian Ministry of Youth and Sport shows that the degree of physical fitness in Indonesia is still low with only 0.114%, fell in the very good category. Levels of inactivity is also low. In terms of personal resilience, a study conducted by the Psychology Department of the University of Indonesia shows that the resilience of Indonesian people is low and tend to be pessimistic about the future when they experience stressful situations hard. As we learn from the theoretical texts and relevant studies, we strongly suspect in the context of the here and now, there is a relationship between physical culture with core frequency and intensity of physical activity, level of enjoyment in physical activity, and level of physical fitness with personal resilience. However, the relationship is not as simple as we think and say. Positive affect theory, subjective experiential valence, and the psychology of peace shows the complexity of this relationship. From the available literature, we formulate research question and propose tentative answer as hypothesis. I am sorry for my passive English. Next, I invite Mr. Sakban Rosidi to continue this presentation.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Rofiqah is good in Arabic, not in English. That's why she feels so sorry because of her passive English. Let me start again. That the problem here is the theoretical model of the relationship between physical culture, personal peacefulness, and personal resilience supported by empirical data from Indonesian adolescents. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables here. It consists of physical culture, class variable consists of physical activity enjoyment, and physical fitness. Here we have also mistyping word enjoyment. Personal peacefulness here consists of intrapersonal peacefulness and interpersonal peacefulness. And the last, personal resilience, as the dependent variable of this study. Okay, here is the model we proposed in this research. There is unidirectional relationship between physical activity and the personal resilience of Indonesian teenagers or adolescents, both directly and indirectly through physical activity enjoyment, physical fitness, intrapersonal peacefulness, and interpersonal peacefulness. The model is rather complicated because so many errors here. That's why we have to clarify with this research. Personal resilience requires self-acceptance, or I can say intrapersonal peacefulness, and the ability to relate to other people, or interpersonal peacefulness. We place therefore personal peacefulness variable here in our picture, which function to mediate the relationship between physical culture and personal resilience. To clarify this concept, we borrow the definition of personal peacefulness as the peaceful states, attitudes, and behaviors of individuals, both intrapersonal and interpersonal. The authors of the book, is very important book in this context, Personal Peacefulness, agree that interpersonal peacefulness is a disposition for self-acceptance, self-compassion, and non-violence towards him or herself, while interpersonal peacefulness is non-violent behaviors and attitude towards other people, and that create and maintain harmonious relationship with other people. This is kind of an internet-mediated study. This study got 3,343 responses. There were 252 responses were declared not good, unfit for analysis. So the sample size of this research was 3,091 subjects, consist of 40.3% male and 59.7% female. What is interesting here is we got yellow color here. It's about their preference for sport activities. It may be true that athletics is less enjoyable than sport games. Okay. And here we have our descriptive statistic consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables. Before we doing the main analysis, we have a prerequisite analysis, and here we use matrix of correlation or bivariate correlation. And as we guessed before, that all of variables here are related with the significant level 0.01 level. So it is possible for us to do the further analysis by doing multiple regression or PET analysis. And here is the result of our PET analysis. There are 4 PET coefficients. For example, here from physical activities to personal resilience, and then physical fitness to interpersonal peacefulness. They are less than 0.05, and according to IWSER Beda, should be eliminated from our model. This is our last model. So we can conclude here that physical activities contributes indirectly to personal resilience through physical activities enjoyment. First of all, you should enjoy the physical activities before you have physical fitness. Through physical activities enjoyment, by doing physical activities continuously, we have fitness. And then your physical activities also contribute to intrapersonal peacefulness. You are able to accept yourself. And then by doing physical activities with joy, you can have also intrapersonal peacefulness and interpersonal peacefulness. Okay, both physical culture and personal peacefulness explain more or less 37.8% of personal resilience. So it can be estimated that more or less 62.2% of personal resilience is contributed by other factors. For example, here related to family cohesion, social resources, structural style, and goal orientation, as most of our research and experts discuss about the components of resilience. Okay, this is the implication of this research. First is the academic one. It is highly recommended, so we recommend for further research to use more valid and reliable method to assess both physical activities and physical fitness. Because of what? Because in this research, we use a perceived physical fitness scale, not the actual one. According to sports science, it is good, but not the best. Okay, and the next more practical implication, community physical activities movement, or sometimes we call it socializing sport activities, especially those with immediate impact on joy or enjoyment, should be chosen as a strategy to promote physical fitness, intrapersonal and interpersonal peacefulness. And finally, all of them will contribute to personal resilience of Indonesian teenagers. It seems that only if sport takes place as a social activity, then its contribution to personal resilience will be greater, will be bigger, will be stronger. So the sporting jargon here becomes 3FR. 3FR stands for F1, friends, F2, fun, F3, fit, and then you will have resilience. Okay, finally, it must be realized that sport is very much like study. Sometimes it's like a vaccination, vaccine. It is important, but the process is often unpleasant and even painful. This reminds us of Nietzsche's statements. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, as sung by Kelly Clarkson, entitled Stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little